How's it going, everyone? StevieWunderKid here, back with another video, this time on the brand new Weeny Dynasty. The whole goal of this video is to show you guys the car's performance, how it handles, how it drifts, because I really like drifting in GTA if you couldn't tell already. So let's jump right into the handling. So as you guys know, this car is a Sports Classics car, which means that obviously it is an older car. And what you'd expect initially is that this thing would probably handle like trash. I mean, I don't think anybody really would expect a car that's based off of an old Indian taxi to handle pretty well. But despite that, I think this car is actually really nice to drive. On first impressions, this car, it has a lot of low-end torque, and I'll get to that a little while later when I talk about the car's drifting ability. But just driving the car and even, just putting it through its paces down here at the docks, you can see that it is pretty confident in the corners. I feel like it's right in the sweet spot in terms of balance. It's not too understeery or oversteery. I think the root cause for the car's really good handling is obviously the fact that it is so slow, and we really can't ignore that. This thing is undeniably slow. No matter which way you slice it, even with upgrades, the turbo, the transmission, the engine upgrades, this thing is not going to be breaking any records in terms of acceleration. However, this car is rear-wheel drive, which does allow you to do the mid-drive speed boost. Then again, really, I feel like it's not going to make up for the fact that this car will easily be outperformed by most other cars in the Sports Classics class. It's because of those reasons that I really can't recommend this car for any sort of competitive racing. So now that I've talked a bit about the car's general handling ability, its acceleration, all that stuff, I want to get into a little bit of drifting, because as you guys can probably tell by some of the videos on my channel, I really enjoy drifting in GTA. There's just something about it that makes it really rewarding, and it's more unique, I think, to drift in this game than any other game. That's my personal opinion on it. As you can see, this car is, again, it is very torquey in the low end, which allows you to spin the tires, and it gets some really good single gear drifts going. But if you're going to try to do top speed drift or medium to high speed drift, this car just can't keep up. While the torque helps it, especially in the low end when you're taking off, it'll help you do donuts and figure eights and all that stuff really easily. But once you get up to speed, there's no way you can carry this car through a corner. As you can see, this is probably actually one of my best runs, consistently hitting the mid-drive speed boost to try to carry the car through a corner. And with most other, obviously, drift cars, that would allow the car to drift through corners pretty seamlessly. But you can actually hear in the video clip that I keep consistently hitting the speed boost, and it's just not breaking those tires loose. And I think the reason why is because, again, the car is super heavy, and once you get past first gear, and once you really get out of that really good torque band right off the line, it really starts to slow down. And that's why this car really isn't good for drifting. So one really unique thing I noticed about this car's handling, and I think that's because of the handling flag, the one that is on this car, is that it can't drift even on like really slick surfaces. So you guys know that either on the boardwalk or in the rain is where especially the underpowered cars tend to drift a lot more easily. And you'd think that that would be the case for this thing, but as you can see in these clips, on the boardwalk where the surface is a bit slicker than just the normal asphalt on the roads, this car is very hard to drift. And as you can see, I was able to engage the mid-drive speed boost on asphalt pretty easily, and you could hear the car in the previous clips, but in these, I keep tapping on that handbrake. You can see the car slow down when I do it. You can see it kind of rev hang almost when I engage the handbrake to try to engage that mid-drive speed boost. And despite all my best efforts in these 3 runs, as you guys will see, I really can't get the mid-drive speed boost to work. And again, I think that is probably the handling flag at work. I really can't think of another reason why I would do this, especially on a slick surface where cars tend to be a lot more driftable than on normal surfaces like asphalt and blacktop and all that stuff. So if you guys were thinking that this would drift even in the rain or on the boardwalk where a lot of people go to take the underpowered cars, unfortunately you really can't drift this thing even on those slick surfaces. Now again, this is all up to your guys' interpretation. If you find that you have no issue trying trying to drift it on these slicker surfaces, then that's awesome. Maybe I was messing something up, but from my experience, I really had to wail on that handbrake, and you can see that I'm consistently pressing the handbrake to again engage the mid-drive speed boost, but it just isn't happening. If I hold it long enough, as you can see, the car will shift down into first, and then it'll kick out because it's back into that really good torque band. But beyond that, this thing just doesn't want to drift, which is a shame, because, you know, initially driving it and initially feeling all that torque, when you floor it just from a dig, this thing spins a lot, and you'd think that it'd be able to carry that to a corner and be able to drift pretty well, but this thing, it just doesn't want to drift. And another thing that I find really unique, especially when it comes to drifting, is the car feels so heavy, and it is surprising to me when you especially look at the size of the car. I mean, this is supposed to be a very small, compact taxi from the 50s, and I don't think we'd really expect to see a car super heavy like that, but this car really does feel very, not just slow, but also just really sluggish in general. That really makes itself apparent when it comes to drifting this thing, because again, the car is so heavy that especially in the middle to high speeds, it's super hard to break this thing loose. So unfortunately, this isn't a good drift car. Now that I've looked at the acceleration, the handling, and the drifting performance, I'm going to end this video by talking a little bit about why I like this car. Despite pretty much everything being against it in terms of performance, I feel like this car is really unique in the way that you can modify it. Obviously, I went with the stereotypical taxi build, but you can really build this car to be whatever you want it to be. You could build it to be a crazy, you know, taxi, as I've done. You can make it to be a sort of rally build. You can really do a lot with this car, which I really like, and there's so many modifications for you guys to choose from. And you know, despite the fact that this doesn't offer much in terms of performance, you still can have a lot of fun with this thing just driving it around. Again, really nice handling. You could even do some role plays if you wanted to with like a taxi, but even then, I mean, it is just fun to kind of just slide around. I mean, not that it drifts really well or anything, but if you guys are doing like single gear drifts or burnouts or donuts or figure eights, you can have a lot of fun with this thing. That's why I think I find it so fun. You could definitely pull off some pretty cool stunts, as you guys can see in these couple clips, just me having fun with it. So yeah guys, that is my take on the brand new Weeny Dynasty. Again, not a car I'd recommend for really anything competitive, but if you want to have fun and you're a little bit strapped for cash, then I definitely would give this car a look. So I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of commentary where I review a car. If you want me to do more of these for the upcoming Diamond Casino DLC vehicles, then definitely let me know in the comment section down below. Have a good one guys, I'll see y'all in the next video.